welcome to Exposed. I'm your host, Joseph Shepard. Each week we dive into the lives of some individuals who may or may not have been on a RuPaul's Drag Race franchise. Now, last week I had the honor and privilege of chatting with this little lady for the podcast where we opened up all about Drag Race España, talking about why you should watch it there at home. She's here with me today from Drag Race España Season 1. It's the Macarena. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm excited.
I am so excited. Like, first of all, I will say when we did the podcast last week, I was like, oh my gosh, you have a personality. Because, like, you know, you think about it and you were just booted off the show way too early. So we only got to see a little bit of you. So let's just open this podcast up. You, from what I have researched and know, you lived in the UK, you lived in Spain. What is your history? Where were you born?
Wow. Oh, well, as a drag queen, as a human being.
Let's start. We're starting with you as a human being.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was born in San Fernando, which is a small town near Cadiz, which is on the very, very south of Spain. Actually, if you travel just a little bit, you can see the north of Africa. And actually, Cadiz is the oldest town on Western Europe. It's almost 3,000 years old. And it's this beautiful, amazing place. But where I come from is near there, and it's just like a tiny, well, not tiny, small town, and a bit conservative. There's a lot of a military population where I'm from because there's a lot of military stuff going around. So, and also the king of flamenco, Camarón, is from there.
Oh, so what you're saying is that you would dress up and perform for all of the military people.
No, not really. I didn't start doing drag up until I moved to Brighton, to the UK.
Okay, so before we get into you moving into Brighton,
Yeah.
you are growing up, you are an individual, you're not a drag queen yet, you're not doing the Macarena yet. What are you like as a little child in school? Like, I'm trying to envision Macarena. Like, were you good in your schoolwork? Were you crazy, outlandish? What were you like?
So I will say I was the tiny little gay kid that every English teacher dreams about.
Oh.
I was talking about this the other day on a story time on my TikTok, but that was in Spanish, so you wouldn't know. I was the most out there, happy, extrovert, talkative kid. Like, I would be singing all the time. I would just wanted to talk to everyone. I was very smart. I remember. So this is the story time. When I was 5 years old, the Spice Girls were all over the place, right? So we were about to go to like our first year of big kids school, like actually start school, and we were gonna do this like talent show at the end of the year, and we did the Spice Girls, and I was Victoria, just because nobody wanted to be Victoria. I wanted to be Jerry so bad. And it was I did the Spice Girls thing, and everyone in school from then on stopped talking to me because I was, outgoing, gay, always singing, and all the kids in my school in my class were fine with it because we were five. But then when they were exposed to all the children and their parents, they realized that I was weird and then I was queer. So everyone stopped talking to me for about like 2 years, and I would just walk around the playground singing Britney Spears. until I realized what I was wasn't okay, and I had to hide
Mhm.
it and conceal it. And I remember I know this is such a typical story, like the sad little non-binary gay kid. I will go to bed every night wishing I would be normal the next day, and then people wouldn't ask me why I talked and behaved so weird. And yeah, and so yeah, that was me. I loved singing. I loved drawing, doing anything artistic. I was very all over the place, but I was also smart in a way that
Mhm.
school was easy to me. Like I didn't have to do much to just go through it. And yeah, I just pretend to be normal up until I came out at 14, 13, 14. And then I exploded in gayness, as you do when you come out in your
It.
teens.
I just visualizing you're walking into a room, you're about to tell people that you are gay, and you're like, and then as you say gay, just confetti and all the gayest shit pops out of your
Ah,
mouth.
it wasn't exactly like that. Actually, this is funny. The first person I came out to, it's my in-law now. She's married to my brother. She used to be in love with me. This is very funny. And I came out. I didn't want it to come out. I had known I was gay since 12.
Mm-hmm.
I realized I was a homosexual reading a Spider-Man comic. And I remember it felt like, oh my God, I'm never gonna have a family. This is terrible. And I didn't want to come out because my high school was not welcoming to queerness. I was the
Mm-hmm.
only queer people, like openly queer person in
Oh.
my school all the time I was there actually. And but this girl, shout out to you, Carmen. She I what's the word? She said she liked me. What's the word? She proposed. She asked me to go out with her, and I felt bad because I had to say no, but I didn't want her to believe I was saying no because I didn't like her. So I told my close girlfriends from school one by one. I was like, I'm gay, but don't tell anyone. I actually have a letter I wrote one of my friends because she was having a drama with another girl, and I didn't want to have any part of it. So I was like, I'm shouting you both out, but please don't tell people I'm gay. I know it's noticeable, but I don't want people to know.
Do you still have that letter?
She has it. She showed it to me. I was like, I know it's obvious, but duh. But yeah, and then I came out, and because my class had been the same class since we were five, and they knew something was up with me. Um, the boys who I was close with now because we had been together for so long, they kind of defended me from the police, and they were like, "Leave him alone. We know he's weird, but whatever." But still, it wasn't a great place. When I turned 16, I left for art school, and I never looked back.
So, when you were going through all of that and you were coming out, is acceptance where you were growing up? Is it very like not accepted? Is it accepted? Like how was it weighing the decision to say anything once you found out?
So, bear with me. This was 2004, 2005. It's not the same now. But it was not. It it was around the time where some people were like very okay with it, and other people were not okay with it, and it was not okay to be not okay with it. If you
Yeah.
get me, it was a respectable position. You know, homophobia was okay. If you get me. Um, I was scared, but at the same time, my mom, who is not a very subtle woman, all my life she have been saying, I would love to have a gay child because gay children are so good with their mothers. And she just wanted me to know she was okay, but it was still violent. You know, I was like, I really didn't want to come out. My brother used to be, God bless him, he used to be very homophobic. He's not anymore. He's amazing. He's an ally.
Good.
It was weird. If I'm telling you about my teens, I would be this teenager who would walk around the street looking at the floor because I didn't want to look up because every time a group of kids would see me, they knew and they'd come after me and they would shout things and I would be scared actually to come out. Like I will suffer more violence out in the street than I did in school, which is weird. and I just didn't want people to look at me and to notice me. I just wanted people to leave me alone. So it was not okay, but my family was supportive. My mom was very supportive. My dad was supportive. Everyone came around it. They kind of knew. But yeah, not great.
Well, I'll do a complete 180, and I want to take you to go back into your teenage years. Okay?
Okay.
I want you to think the first time that you surfed the internet and you tried to look for gay porn. Do you remember what you looked for?
I'm weird. I used to watch hentai, which is a type of anime. That's how I got my start. And then I remember I will watch. Do you remember this like broke straight boys website back in the 2000s, which was just like twins jerking to each other? Yep. That was my. Oh my god! I remember. Do you know this PMP? You know, like torrent sharing things.
Oh yeah.
I will download like the shortest videos on there, like 15 seconds, and those will take like 30 minutes, and I will just like masturbate to the thought of it. I'm old, girl. I remember not having a phone, and I remember not having a connection to the internet. I was born in 91.
Oh, I was too. So we are both in the same plane. I think it's funny when I first was like coming into it, I didn't want to accept that I was gay. So what I started doing is I would always just like go on the internet and just look at underwear, because I was like, in my head, I was like, you know what? If I look at the underwear, it's totally okay. Then it became like, okay, I'm going to watch straight porn, but only pay attention to the guy. Then it became like just guys jerking off. And then, it's like you tried everything in your head.
Yeah. You know, this is actually coming to me. This is a therapy session now. You can charge me. You know what's heartbreaking? I remember the first thought when I came out. And the first few months that I knew I was gay inside of me, my first thought was like, I'm never going to tell anyone. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be that weird person that never gets married. No one ever has to know. And I think about that now, and it's heartbreaking. Like, what's that mindset? Why? But I understand why, but I'm like, I feel bad for that little boy. Like,
yeah. Oh. And also, like... if we look at it, there was like so many moments where like either we were terrified or petrified at something. I remember on that same porn topic that there was this time and I found some website, don't know how, and it was, you could watch, it was kind of like a cam site, but for some reason, like back in the early 2000s, it was like hard to find something like that. So to find it, and then I could talk to the person. And so I literally was like, take off your underwear, or like do this and that. And my brother, who's 5 years younger than me, stormed through the room as this was all happening. The only thing that saved me was the electric power box that like all the cords go into. I put my foot on it and I pulled it out. I was like,
I've been there. I remember. Oh my God, this is. I'm actually. This is a cautionary tale now. The internet back in the day was weird, and I will go on chat rooms trying to talk to people when I was 12, 13, 14. And I remember putting myself in positions with older people in real person. And I'm like, this is so crazy, because I wouldn't talk to anyone, obviously, about what was going on with me. And I remember this one time, and bless that person. I remember this one time I was in a chat room and someone pretended to be a cop. So to scare me. And they were like, we know where you are, we're going to tell the police, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't go in chat rooms anymore because I was scared. And I was like, bless this person for taking care of me when I couldn't, because I was a child.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that person was me.
There really is.
Yeah, that person was me, and the police are coming at your door right now. This is a full circle moment.
No, really, the internet was wild back then.
It was
like, no control, nothing.
Yeah, no control, nothing, and then to actually have to get onto the internet and have to hear that bitch, all of that. Do you remember that?
Girl, and your dad couldn't talk to, and my parents couldn't speak on the phone if you were on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, girl.
So, moving away from the internet, you come out, you said that you were 14, right?
I'm trying to remember. I knew I was gay at 12. I came out with my friends at 13. I came out to my parents at 14, yeah.
Okay. And then...
And after my parents, it was free range.
And then it was free range. You were who you are. You felt yourself.
I dyed my hair blue before it was fashionable. Yeah, all of that.
Oh, you were that kid. You were like out and proud. You're like there. So when you get out of school, when did you end up going to the UK? Was it shortly after, and what led you there?
Wow, there's a big gap in there. Big gap in there.
How big? Okay, let's go back to the big gap. No. Let's go to the big gap.
No. I can do like a little summary for you. I went to art because this is important. I went to art school in the town that actually J. Carajota and Estrella are from in Jerez.
Okay.
And that opened up my whole world. Like going to art school changed my life. It made me okay to be who I was. Then I went to university in a different place in Spain. Then I went to Madrid. I worked in a cruising bar as a cleaning and maintenance person.
Wait. I would like to know what a cruising bar is back then and there, because I think in the US we have different terms for that. So
okay, so this bar is still open. I'm not gonna do advertising because no, but it's like that was my first job. I was like, we jumped up to like 24. It's like a bar, and you come in, it's a regular bar, and then you go to the left, and there are glory holes and cabins, and then you go down, and there are more glory holes and more cabins, and there are like plastic beds, and it's like huge. And I got so thin because I used to clean that stuff every single day, and I even got to build a glory hole myself.
Wait, how do you build a glory hole?
Because glory holes got moist a lot, and it was like rotten. So I had to take the whole wood thing, make a hole in it, make it comfortable, paint it, and then put it again. I installed a whole glory hole. It was. I learned a lot actually, and I got very thin, but then I got fat again. So whatever.
But what did you get thin from? From smelling all the poppers?
Because it was like it was like 6 days a week. And I will have to clean the whole thing every day. It was 2 floors, and it was huge. So it was like doing a fitness class every day.
What was the nastiest?
I was so miserable. I will teach you pictures from that era. I looked miserable. I hated myself. I hated my life. That's when I started doing like drugs and stuff. Yeah.
What was the dirtiest or the nastiest thing you ever cleaned up?
Oh my God! Actually, I wasn't grossed out much. This is funny. I will listen to either Revival by Selena Gomez or a Disney playlist to cheer myself up. And doing that job is when I learned that I could actually sing, because the whole place was muted, so no one could hear me. There were no cameras or anything, and I was by myself, so I would just spend the whole time singing. And I was like, I can actually do very well at singing. And I learned a lot of things. And the grossest thing, there was this one time, oh my God, this is gross. So there used to be, they don't have it anymore. There used to be this place where people were supposed to douche. So it was like a shower with like a toilet underneath, and it will get stuck every single day. So you can imagine. It was gross every single day. But I had a good attitude about it. I was like, hard work is going to make me tough. Guess what, bitch? You didn't have to go through it. But I did learn things. But I wish I had taken better choices in my life and that I had treated myself better.
But I will say this to you, at the exact same time, you just have the best idea for a movie ever. You said that you were singing Disney songs in doing glory holes. Can you imagine, like, you're looking for love? That's the plot of the movie. It's a rom-com. You're working, listening to all the I had so many stories, girl. I was because
I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I'm producing this thing again.
Oh, you're fine.
My dad had passed away like like a year or 2 years before that, and I was still grieving. That was a lot of grief. And I remember I was listening. I was cleaning my glory holes and stuff. I remember exactly where I was. And this Carson song comes out. You know the Phil Collins song was like, "You'll be in
In
my
my
heart,"
heart, yeah.
and I just started sobbing. And I had like my gloves, and I couldn't touch myself. I was squatting, and I had like this panic attack while I was sobbing, and I couldn't do anything. And I was just standing. I was just sitting there, crying my eyes out, being like, "I miss it so much." I. It's kind of funny now, but it was.
That's a movie. You have the plot of a movie. That's
Yeah,
your
girl,
first role. Move
I
over,
don't know who's gonna
Divine.
put
You're coming
money
back.
on it, but yeah.
We'll call up Phil Collins. Phil Collins.
Then I moved back home, and then I moved to Brighton.
Okay. So what led you to move to Brighton? Had you already started doing drag or no?
So I had all this money saved from because that job was very well paid, obviously because it was tough. So it was very well
Yeah.
paid, and I had like 5,000-6,000 euros, and my brother was living there, and he was like, "Okay, so this town is full of drag queens, homosexuals, and lefties. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "Okay." It was a trap actually because the weather was terrible. He didn't have any friends, and he wanted someone to talk to. It's hard to make friends in the UK. It's true. It's true. When you're from abroad, it's hard. It's hard. It's probably the same in every country, but I
Yeah.
have my perspective in the UK. So where was I? Okay, so yeah, I had done drag before many times. I actually have a story for you. Do you remember when I told you that the first time I did a show was with Samantha and I did Womanizer and she did Lady Gaga? She
Uh-huh.
did Just Dance. No, she did Poker Face. I was thinking about it the other day and it was on my first Pride. That was 2008. And there was this stage on the street. It was a L&L bar. It's a very famous bar in Chueca. And Supreme Deluxe was the host. So we went there and we were like, "Can we perform? We're just gonna do 2 songs." And she was like, "Yeah, go up and do your thing." And 10 years later, well, not 10 years, like 12, 13 years later, she's doing Drag Race and we are both on Drag Race. How insane is that?
That's crazy. That's a full circle.
Right? I remember it perfectly. I had like the top hat with the bee on it. It was the same
Uh-huh.
bee as Britney did on, and I had like my little corset and a tutu, like a black tutu, and I did the whole choreography, everything. But yeah, as I told you before, maybe people don't know, but as I told you before, I didn't want to step on Samantha's
Mm-hmm.
gig because where we are from, there aren't many opportunities for drag queens, especially 15 years ago. So I wanted to do drag so bad. I had done theater, like amateur theater,
Mm-hmm.
for 9 years. I had all this experience, and I knew I was gonna be good at it. But to be fair, no shade, but she would encourage me not to,
Mm-hmm.
out of self protection, I bet. And I wouldn't want to do it. So when I moved to the UK, I remember I started this. I first worked in a reception in a hotel. That's the first job I got, and that's actually pretty cool because being a receptionist is like kind of not the top, but when you go to the UK, you start off doing jobs that don't require knowing the language.
Mm-hmm.
So being a receptionist is like a very good thing. You get paid well. It's not as bad. You don't have to bartend and all that stuff. So I got that right away, thanks to a very kind man from Egypt called Mohammed. Thank you wherever you are. I love you. He was he was like a father figure to me. And I did that for a year and 9 months, I think. And then I got a graphic design job. So when I got the graphic design job, I started buying makeup. I bought wigs, and I was like, "This is my moment, my
My
moment."
moment.
And I got like my little kit, and I did my padding and my body. I The first time I did drag there was on Pride 2018, And a month later, I went to the Bulldog, which is a karaoke bar, and because I knew a friend of mine told me that my friend was moving to London, so she couldn't do the gigs all week, and she wanted to, and they had Tuesdays and Thursdays free, and I went there. I sang "Hey Big Spender," and they liked me, and they hired me, and that's where it all started.
Wow. And let me ask you, how did you learn to do your makeup?
Whew, not watching Samantha, I will tell you that. So, I feel like I'm talking about myself so much. I love this. I'm an illustrator and a graphic designer, and I learned trying. And also, I have this friend of mine, Lexi Queen, who does my wigs, by the way, Queen of Wigs. She's amazing, and she was a makeup artist. And we met about 2014, and we both were learning at the same time. So we will teach each other stuff, and watching Drag Race and girls from Drag Race, and picking up the trends, and just trying and trying and trying. You look like a circle, and you look like a circus until you don't.
Yeah. But did you always think, like when you started, do you think you look like a circus, or do you think you look great?
Oh, I was very aware that I was a baby because I have this. I don't think I come across as that, but I have this high expectations about myself, and I am so tough with myself. So I wasn't on the best time of my life, so I would just like keep telling myself how ugly I was, hoping that one day I wouldn't be. But yeah, I was aware I wasn't great at it. But at the same time, and this is something that got me to not get jobs quick, I improved myself very quick. I started in August, and I could show you pictures from September, and I was looking great for a baby. My learning curve was insane. And because I could sing, and because of that, I have the theory that wasn't very positive to me getting gigs, because it's very competitive. Everyone is competitive.
Yeah. When you started and you were trying your makeup, you were performing, looking at you then versus now, would you perform the same things? Are you the same drag queen you were when you started?
I would perform the same songs, yes. Would I do it the same way? No. But I remember that time even though I was still struggling very badly with addiction, and I was not happy, and I was in a toxic relationship and all that. I think the drag side of my life, even though there are still a lot of triggering things from that time. There were podcasts that I used to listen to when I did my makeup that I cannot listen to anymore because they trigger me being high doing my makeup. I remember the first performances I did in my shows as a very innocent, beautiful thing. I used to do Cabaret by Liza Minnelli. I used to do Big Blonde and Beautiful from Hairspray. I used to do How Do You Sleep by Sam Smith. I used to do and I am telling you I'm not going for some reason. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, but I remember doing Cabaret and enjoying it so much. I don't know why I don't do that song anymore. I used to love doing that song because there's an element of just like telling people to come enjoy. It's like it's easy to go to people and be like, come, let the music play and all that stuff. It's very cool, right?
Well, okay, so if you don't mind me asking, you have touched on having addiction issues. What were you addicted to?
Oh, this is actually, I was thinking about this today because I really want people who watch this show, who listen to the podcast and watch this, because I didn't have the opportunity to talk about it on the show. And for me, that was so important. I'm still, but I'm clean now. I'm addicted to meth. And I was also a very, very unhealthy stoner. I know for a lot of people, it's a very cool thing that they can do, and I respect that. I know it can help people. It didn't help me. But especially in Brighton, I was on meth most of the time, and it's terrible to say it, but yeah.
How did you get into it? Or do you have like an addictive personality already? Because I know for myself, my personality is addictive to where like even if I don't like something and I eat it like for breakfast, then I will eat it again and again and again and again because like it's just I don't know. I feel like I have to. So do you have that type of personality or like what got you into it?
Yeah, so as you said, I have an addictive personality. I'm a very compulsive person. I'm very obsessive. That's actually the reason why I can speak English because I was obsessed with it as a child.
Wow.
And I will translate things all the time. I'm also obsessive as well with photoshopping things. And I know that sounds insane, but as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking, my mind is thinking of how could I delete the phone from the picture, as if it was a picture. It's weird, but my mind is very like that. And I get addicted to things. I had binge and purge issues,
Wow.
a lot of things. And I'm actually on treatment right now, on addiction treatment, because it's a bumpy road at times. I've been clean for months now from everything. I don't drink anymore. But yeah, and what got me on meth was Grinder. A shout out to Grinder.
Shout
Yes.
out to Grant. Did it have a capital T in the profile?
I no, I was more of looking because in Brighton, opposite us, where I was from, obviously I was from a small town. It was easier. It was everywhere for some reason. And I don't want to make a generalization of the town
Yeah.
because there were a lot of people who were clean. But when you are on the road to addiction or in addiction, it's easier for you to find what you don't
Yep.
have to find. And I would just hook up with people and smoke and fuck. And it was terrible. And as I said, I've had this history of putting myself on harmful situations and hurting myself through many, 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 many different things.
When did you have a realization or a moment where you were like, I can't do this anymore? How long did you have addiction issues until you stopped?
So I started smoking pot right after my dad passed away. I hadn't tried it before. I was a heavy weekend drinker, but I hadn't tried pot, and that's why got me through the grief. And I can say I have issues, but I can tell you I don't regret it. I would have. I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't stoned the whole time. And that got me into just being more relaxed about everything else. And I also had this mentality at my mid 20s where I was like, oh, you have to try everything once. And that's great. That works for a lot of people. For other people who have addiction issues and who have that easiness to get addicted to things, that's not a great idea. That is just not. And I remember the first time I tried meth, I was living in London, and it was with this older man. It was a mess. And I remember I tried it, and I was like, I'm never gonna do this again because I like it way too much. And I obviously I did it again. Oops, I blah 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 blah.
Oops, I did it again.
And it was a road, girl. But you learn. Thankfully, I believe I've always been on the edge of self-destruction, but every time I come to the edge, I always come back. Like I never actually jump.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, you kind of like push yourself to the brink as far as you can go. You could go a little bit more, but then you stop yourself and go back.
Exactly. Maybe it's because I'm a Gemini, but I've always been very self-destructive, but at the same time, I've been self-protective. Like,
Yeah.
I've never crossed that line when I was like, oh, I'm going to die.
Well, that's good. I hope you never cross that line. I mean,
Yeah,
we will all one time when we turn like 80 or 90 or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a very part of me going to Drag Race. A very important part of me going to Drag Race. I wanted to tell people that you can have issues with that type of substance, which are very damaging and that really mess you up. And you can come the other way alive, and you can thrive, and you can succeed, and you can change things up and turn it around.
So what was the actual moment where you were like, I have to stop? Or like, did you just like feel like a different person? Like what was it?
Oh my God. The thing is, as I said, it's a bumpy road. You can realize something and then do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the idea is on your head, but then you relapse.
Yeah.
But it's still in your head. I remember after Drag Race, I had been clean for more than a year. I went into the show talking about my sobriety. And then right when we started the tour, I had a relapse. It was a one-time thing. It's never happened again since then. I've been clean from it since then. But I was on the situation, and I was doing the drag, and I was with the guy, and I was like, why am I doing this? Why? Just why? What's the need? What are you doing? No, I wasn't in that dark situation anymore. I wasn't on a not future job doing something I didn't like. I wasn't in a bad relationship. I was in no relationship. I wasn't on this situation when I had been before Drag Race, actually, because I'm telling you all of this stuff. Just do whatever. Right before I got the call, and the casting call started. I was starting antidepressants because I was having this self-destructive thoughts, and I was in a very bad situation. I had lost my job. I had no job in Spain, and where I'm from, the unemployment among young people it's over 40%. It's really bad. And I just thought I didn't have a future. I was getting old. No one was ever going to see me. I was not going to be able to do anything. And I wasn't in that situation anymore. And I was like, why are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And right after that was in Barcelona, after Torremolinos, that we had been on tour for about a month or so. I never went on stage being high or anything. I want to say that because I'm a very professional person, even though I'm an addict. And after that, I had already started talking to my boyfriend, my current boyfriend, but I was like kind of ghosting him. I didn't want to talk much. And I also had this. They told me that I wasn't doing great. I wasn't looking great. My attitude was bad. As I told you before, I didn't want to be seen by people. I didn't want to be touched by anyone. I didn't want people to talk to me. I felt like nobody was going to the show to see me. And then I went back home, and I was like, snap out of it, bitch. I changed my makeup. I redid my wigs. I got some of my clothing from Drag Race. I changed everything. And that's when I started talking to my current boyfriend. I was like, and I felt that there was a switch there. I was ready to love myself, and I was ready to feel loved in a good way.
Yeah.
And that's when everything changed.
That must have felt good, though. Like, to come into your own there.
Oh, I hate to say it because I've said this to myself many times just as an excuse to go down. But sometimes you have to go down to be able to go up again. And I believe in my heart that's what I did.
Yeah. I also
It was a way of telling me, like, look how shitty you can be to yourself. Don't do this anymore.
Yeah. So, a complete 180.
Again.
Drag Race. Complete 180 again. If you're watching this at home and you're like, Joseph, this interview is all over the place. You know what? That's what the Macarena in my brain is like. You know, sometimes it's the ADHD.
Focus. Do you remember the Simpsons episode where Bart is having pills and they're called Focusing?
Yes.
Yeah. Take a little Focusing.
So you're doing drag in Brighton. Are you in Brighton at the time that you applied for Drag Race?
Oh, this is such a long story. Fuck. I applied to Drag Race UK when I was in Brighton.
Oh
And
wow!
that's how I learned what not to do on an audition. That helped me enormously because I watched my audition and I was like, you don't talk like that. And that helped me so much. But no, I had health issues right after COVID. I believe was one of the first people to have COVID on January 2020. I was isolated in my room. I had lost my job because I was obviously still addicted to stuff. I couldn't afford my flat anymore, so I had to leave. I left on March. I left on April, when the whole how do you say it in English? Lockdown started.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom had to come to pick me up to Gibraltar on a taxi cab, and the plane that got on Gibraltar was the last plane to land on Spain.
Oh.
They told us, like the air hostess told us that they had to put extra oil on the plane in case they have to go back if the law changed. Yeah, it was insane, and I didn't have a house anymore. All of my clothing was on Spain. I had sent it. Like I had to organize an international moving out in 3 days.
Wow.
I kid you not. I'm not joking. I'm not making anything up. I'm not jota cara jota. This is the actual truth. I'm joking and kidding. I love her. I arrived in Spain, as I told you, the whole summer. I had no job. It was a lockdown. Then I worked on a kind of a Home Depot type of place in the as on the where they keep all the stuff and just
Like a stock room.
Yeah, in the stock room as a logistic. I did that for a month, and then I lost my job. I had a huge fight with my mom. God bless her. I love her. I was on a friend's place, and then when the audition started, when the audition process started, she helped me do it, and then she asked me to leave her house because I had been living there for like 6 months. I love her. God bless her. She had to tell me I was not in a good place. And then I did the audition, and God, for some reason, the audacity of this person, right? For some reason, I did the audition. It was the silliest audition ever. There was a moment in my audition when I was just on a glass saying, "I love surrealism." It was that type of audition. I was talking to my friend's dog in the audition, and I sent it, and I was like, they would be so dumb if they don't pick me. And I knew it was my moment, and I got the call.
Where were you when you got that call?
In another friend's house, I was living with two beautiful. Oh no, they were not. I cannot tell the story, but there were two girls, and they ended up being more than friends.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I left, and one of them had a boyfriend, and the other one was a lesbian who was like telling me like, I think she's sending me signs, and I was like, you're a lesbian, you just won that. And then when I came back, they were together. That was also insane. And I remember I did croquetas, like croquettes, which is like a little fried thing. I did croquetas that day, and then I got the call.
How did you feel in that moment?
Whew. I remember. So I'm gonna stand for a second. I remember the whole time when I got the Drag Race call. For the whole month we were preparing, less than a month, 20 days. The whole time I was like this, and I couldn't sleep. Like I will wake up at 6 in the morning, and the first thought in my head was, "You're going to Drag Race," and it felt surreal.
Mm-hmm.
It felt outworldly. It felt scary. It was so scary. I was terrified. I was petrified. But I was also energized with all of these things I had to do. I had to get a loan. I had to get money quick. I had to get people doing the dresses. I had to organize all of this stuff. I was stoned the whole time, by the way, as well. I it's not a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's stressful more than it is. It's happy for a second and then it's like, shit, what did I get myself into? How am I gonna do this? I don't know. You have to understand. I had done all of my drag career was outside. The people who did my dresses lived in the UK. I had no experience. I had no experience doing dresses, and I had to. I remember I asked a close friend of mine, "Do you know anyone who does wigs?" And that's actually how some people found out because I asked her, and then word came out, and it's like, the Macarena is asking for wigs, but I don't know if it's for Drag Race because no one thought I was gonna get a Drag Race. No one knew me. No one knew me. So it was, yeah, it was stressful, but it was also great. Like I was like, it's happening. So this feeling of it's happening, it's both scary and beautiful. It's like it's happening. It's happening now. Wow, I knew it. I knew it. I remember thinking, I knew it. I knew something was waiting for me. I know something was waiting for me. I had known all along. I wasn't patient enough.
Yeah. Did you, when the whole process was happening and the time in between there and filming, were you also worried? Because that's when COVID was still like a big thing and there was lockdowns and all of that. Were you ever afraid that, oh yeah, good.
I didn't give a shit about COVID anymore. I was like, I don't care. I was actually feeling relieved because I was like, if I'm going to be doing the show. And when I was doing the show, obviously between us, we didn't have to wear face masks. So it was actually relieving. It was like going away from COVID and going into filming. Obviously, we had to be careful while we did it. But I had already had it.
Yeah.
So I was immune for a few more months. And I knew I was not going to get COVID again.
So were you worried at all that the show, like because of like government stuff, would end up shutting down? Were you worried about that at all?
I think so, yeah. You know what's funny? It's hard for me to think about COVID now. When COVID was like full blown.
Yeah.
Like my brain has this system where I forget about things.
I'm the same way. I also, you said that you were feeling sick in January of 2020. I had the exact same thing the very 1st of February where I had an insane fever. I told my boyfriend, I was like, this is worse than the flu. I do not know what this is. I don't feel good. But I will say, I do believe I had it at the first of everything happening. And I don't know if it's a side effect. I don't know if it's a symptom of things from years. But over the past 2.5 years that it's been here, 3 years, whatever, my mind is blurry as hell. If I were to try to like look back like 6 months ago, I can't even tell you what I did for Christmas. Like,
maybe it is. I mean, I don't know. When it comes to me, it could be a side effect from drug use. It could be a side effect from depression, which also happens. It could be a side effect from COVID, from what I know. I don't know. My memory is really, really bad now. And I used to be that person who, bless my soul, remembered everything. When I tell you everything, I'm telling you everything about the Harry Potter universe. I was that little annoying Wikipedia.
yes.
And I don't I just, things don't stuck in my head anymore. It's frustrating because it was a part of me having good memory and I don't anymore. My boyfriend tells me like, I meet people and I know situations and he keeps, like the other day he was telling me about this girl, he was his cousin and we met her and she lost the bus and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I remember that happened, but I don't remember her face. I don't remember what I was doing. It doesn't stuck in my head.
Wow.
It's frustrating. It's really bad because it's really hard for me to learn songs now. And that was one of my many talents.
Well, one of your not many talents was designing clothes.
Oh,
in the first episode.
Fuck you, bitch. You're lucky that you're in America right now.
So you walk in this door. It is Drag Race España season 1. What did you think walking into that workroom? What was your feelings? You're on a TV set. You see the cameras around. You see other girls. Like, what were you feeling?
I was so confident. It was unhealthy. I was so confident. And also, I remember I looked around, and there's this thing that I didn't actually remember, but Killer told me. I hope she doesn't mind. I saw her And I said, "Oh, good, it's not Ariel. I can beat you. I'm fine." I was playing mind games, and I didn't remember that. I was like, oh, and I didn't say it loud because I didn't want the mics to get it. I was like, "Oh, you're not Ariel. Good, I can beat you." And I'm not that person. I'm not like that. I don't know what's going. What I think I thought it was. I think I walked in and I was like, maybe I could win.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. No.
Wait, they didn't record an alternate ending with you winning?
No. That would have been great, right? You know what would be great? If all of the seasons were like the All Stars 7 they're doing now and no one goes home, it's like
Yes.
points. That would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
But no, I was so nervous. And also, you have to understand, I have been smoking pot up until the moment I got into workroom, so I was pumped with energy. I couldn't sleep. All that. So I was all over the place. The good thing about that is that I'm very present on the first episode because I just wouldn't shut up. I wouldn't let anyone talk. Sometimes I think they kicked me out because they couldn't hear anyone else. Like on the episode, there are parts where you can tell I'm muted because I was still talking and there are all people talking and I'm just muted so that my mic it's not working. Like it's that bad. I was annoying. I was trying to get to the camera the whole time. I was very silky. I was silky that first day. You know what I mean? It was like just picking up Miley Cyrus and being like, "I'm a breaking ball." That was me. I don't know. And then we did the bull thing, and I was like, "Oh, I did great." And then my wig like was showing a little bit, and that was a sign. And then they tell us it's a sewing challenge, and then I shit my padded ass. I'm like, and I was still thinking I can do it. I can figure something out. I'm a designer. I'm a graphic designer. I can figure something out. And then you can actually see that moment in the episode. I get the box, and I'm like, everything is bathroom stuff. This is a bathroom mat and a couple ducks and sponges. What the fuck? I drew it, and then I showed Supreme, you know, when they walk around, and I'm like, and my drawing was beautiful. And she was like, "Good luck with that." And then I didn't manage my time.
Well, I'm looking right here at these images of all of the girls' outfits that were made. Yours was not the worst. There was somebody else whose name sounds like Poopy Poison, whose outfit was 9 million times worse than yours.
You know what? I've never been mad about that.
Really?
Never. No. And I will tell you why. Poopy Poison has been an entertainer and an artist for over 15 years. She was not going to go home first. And I respect that. You know, do you get me? Like, I have been doing drag for 3 years. I was a grown-ass person. I could take the punch, and my career was not at stake. Like, people was getting to know me. Poopy was not going to go home first. And I respect that.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
That's all you have to say.
For real.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's a sweetheart. She gives the best advice. She always listens. She was the person who would talk me out of spirals when I was still in the house. Well, she's the person who always talks you out of bad stuff. She is the person who asks you, "How are you?" with feeling. She's the person who cares. She deserved to be there, even if the dress wasn't perfect, if the dress wasn't worked. The shoes were fine.
Yeah, the shoes were fine. So you have this challenge. It is you have to make the outfit. You make it. You end up doing a lip sync. You end up going home.
It's the same shoe. It's the same shoe. You haven't seen that, right? It was a fashion photo review. It was, God bless her, Nikki Doll. I did the lip sync with the same shoes as I walked in, and they were ugly shoes. In the fashion review, she said, when she realized it, she said, "This is the same shoe. It's the same shoe."
Wait, I need to see this shoe.
Yeah.
Is it
It was the same shoe indeed.
So you get off. You are now free into the ethersphere. You're not coming back until the end.
Wait. Before we move, I have to say something because this is you're gonna like this. Do you know when I knew I was going home first? Everyone thought Arantxa was gonna go home first.
Uh-huh.
And she's not gonna mind me saying this because everyone thought that. Inside and probably out. God bless her because she proved everyone wrong. I'm so proud of her. She's a great friend of mine and love her so much. But I remember when I saw her tiny little thing that she was doing and I saw it was petite and it was beautiful and it was well constructed, I was like, fuck, I'm going home.
Hannah Montana.
But she did a great job. I'm so proud of her.
I love her. She was the one queen, I think, who was just like so in my inbox when everything was happening. I said, okay, Arantxa. But
she's smart like that. She's a businesswoman.
Yeah, she's a businesswoman. She's great. A lot of energy. I
will ride her coattail anytime. Okay, moving on. Sorry.
When you get out of the house, or when you get out of the show, and you had walked into this workroom, you saw your competition. Was the top 3 who you thought it was going to be from your initial look at the cast?
Vulcano, Drag Vulcano, Carmen, and Ugacio. Those were my top 3. I was wrong. I'm wrong so often. It's my.
You got one right.
Yeah, she was gonna win. I knew she was gonna win. She did everything so perfectly, and you know what the worst part is? She's kind and she's nice and she's always ready to help you and to tell you how to improve things. And she's constructive and she's great and she listens and she helps. I hate her. Because you're not even allowed to hate her because she's nice.
Yeah. I think that was the shocking thing, especially watching you guys on the show, is that from the US perspective, if somebody's a bitch to you or somebody's this and that way, like the whole trajectory of the season can change. The way you girls was you could be catty 1 second, the next second you're helping somebody do an outfit, the next second you're making a joke. Like it was such a family vibe. It just felt like it was so needed. And that's kind of like what we discussed on the podcast. It's just, it has brought a fresh life into the franchise because you're seeing a totally different culture, a totally different approach, and just kindness. I mean,
yeah. You know what's from my perspective from now on. Dovima may not be my favorite person. She actually is not my favorite person. But bless her, I do love her. She's not my favorite person, and that's okay. We don't have to absolutely like every part of every person we meet all the time. But she actually said it on the show. It was tough for her to. I don't believe she sent me home. It was tough for her to be next to me when I was sending myself home. Because the previous day she had this meltdown and this anxiety attack, and you could tell on her eyes she was a lost puppy and she was in need of help and understanding. And I remember walking to her and being like, "Bitch, you got this. You look beautiful. You are amazing. You head to toe perfection. Don't be stressed. You're gonna be fine." And then the next day we have to lip sync against each other, and I go home and she was actually crying for real. I haven't seen that again. She was actually crying again. She was actually crying for real, and it was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And so there was that energy of sisterhood that was actually real, and that kept being real the whole tour. Now we are apart, and we don't talk that much anymore because everyone's doing their own thing. But as I said before, we kept this vibe the whole tour. It was a whole year, almost a year of standing and being around people who are very different to you. And we helped each other. We listened to each other. We hugged each other, and we didn't fight physically. It was it's okay. You know, 10 people not fighting, being together the whole time. Good enough for me.
Who would you say are the top two queens from your season that you talk to the most?
Oh, I don't have a top three. I don't have a top two. I have a top three.
Okay.
Arancha, Ugaceo, and Killer, and then Puppy.
I love that you're like, it was just funny how you said it. You're like, and then Poopy.
Because it's a hierarchy. Like, I consider four of them my friends, like actual real life good friends. But Poopy, it's more all over the place. She's working a lot. She's doing like the new show now, and we don't talk that much. But with Ugaceo, Arancha, and Hugo, we do brunch, we go out. My boyfriend and Ugaceo's boyfriend are in the group, and we are friends.
Oh,
and
that's nice.
Yeah, we actually share quality time because we like each other. Arancha would tell you that that's not true, that she hates all of us, and she hates me especially. But we hang out a lot.
So you're done with the show. You go on this tour, like you said, for about a year. You are exposed to all these different assets of Spain. You're traveling. You were traveling throughout Spain, right? So you hadn't been in Spain for quite some time before that, right? Because you were in Brighton and then you came back right when COVID started. So what was it like being introduced to fans and just being able to actually expose your talents to the world?
You said exposed twice.
Yeah.
Cling, cling. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Everything is stressful to me, apparently. Good things and bad things are stressful. It was stressful. As I said, at the beginning of the tour, I was scared. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to be perceived. I didn't want to be understood. It sounds terrible. I didn't want to be, period. But at the same time, there was this feeling of wanting to proving everyone that I had talent, that I actually was an artist and a talented individual and a good drag queen. So when we were preparing the show, in my head, I was everything. Actually, what I had imagined in my head is what ended up happening on the show, apart from a couple of details. I wanted to sing the song that I had been sent home with, which ended up being a curse. But I didn't want it to be, I wanted people to go like, bitch.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what song can I do that it's poppy and it's cool and I can dance to it? And I was like, Rain on Me, because Chromatica had recently come out. And then I had to do the Macarena. And I started the tour being like, prove, which is silly because I didn't have to prove anyone wrong, but prove everyone wrong. They don't know who you are. You are better than that. And then I changed my mindset a little bit, and it ended up being a feeling of, okay, maybe you don't have the most fans, maybe you are not the most popular person in the cast, but I remember that was a part of the shift that I told you about when things shifted. I was on one of the meet and greets in Valencia when I had already changed my mindset a little bit, and I will always approach the meet and greets being like, ugh. Because everyone wanted to. If I was with Ugaceo, everyone was with Ugaceo or Arancha, and people would be like, "Hi," and it was a bit awkward because people didn't really knew how I was, and I was feeling bad. And Arancha, I remember Arancha told me like, "Bitch, snap out of it, like, just do it." And I did. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I had a panic attack a couple times before during the meet and greets and just leave. And I remember I was about to get in that mindset of me crying again in front of people and wanted to leave. And this, I want to say it was a young kid or a young teenager. As I said, my memory is not great. And they looked at me and they were like, "You're my favorite. I love you so much." And I just wanted to come. Oh, I just wanted to come here to see you. and they were wearing my merch, and I was like, and I remember I went on stage and I was like, I'm doing this for you, and that's when my mindset changed. I was like, there are two people in this theater who are here to watch to see you, but you do it for them.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate you. Oh,
I mean, it's the greatest Lady Gaga quote of all time. There could be 99
there can
people
be
in a
99
room.
people, but it's true. It's true.
It is. It is very
No, it's
true.
It's true. But
Because no, 100%. When I put out this song and this video, and it was just a passion project of mine, I guess I thought. Oh, thank you. I thought somewhere in my head that the numbers would be what the drag numbers are when I interview queens. And when that didn't hit, it was like, oh. And then I will say, I got a direct message in my inbox, and it was somebody recording them listening to it in the car. And they were like, I'm so excited to see you at DragCon. And I was like, okay. Just that one, like, I don't care. They're gonna be, yep, yes. And it's like that one person just kind of like changed everything around because they respect what you do, you know?
And I'm still surprised to this day because sometimes I'm not my biggest fan. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I'm a Gemini again. We went on like a Comic-Con, Arancha and myself, a few months back. No, not a few months back, last month. And this young boy came to me, probably, he must be 18. He came to me and he was like, you saved me. You showed me that there are people out there that can be like me, and I would love, and I'm respectfully asking you to do a drawing on me so I can get him tattooed on. And I was like, of course, but I never thought that was going to be the case. You know, and I do have fans. I don't have as many fans as Carmen does, but I do have fans, and I do have people. I hate that word. I do have people who support me and who want to see more of me, and I'm getting more and more every day because I get to show people what I do. And I think for a first beach out, I'm not bad at all.
No, not at all.
I don't have it bad at all. So in the end, everything worked out.
Yeah. And now let's talk about, how did you get involved in now chit-chatting on the ATRES player that I cannot pronounce correctly? How did
You can say, yes, I say it.
Yes, I say it. There we go. So you have your show, Yes, I Say It. How did that come to be? And how is it now sitting down with some of your fellow sisters and chatting about the second season?
So I have to say, hard work. How did I get the show? Hard work, not giving up, even though I really, really wanted to. Having a good support system who do not allow you to give up. Being clean. That's also a very good part of it. Being professional, always being on time. I always say I'm what's the word first? You know, these Pokemons are very special, not shiny. Like
Wait, repeat what you said. You said,
you know, the Pokemons that are like Articuno and Zapdos, and you know the ones that are like hierarchy, but it's not that. Okay, I'm gonna say shiny.
yeah.
I'm a
Holographic?
Okay, what?
I said holographic. I don't know.
No.
Shiny.
I will always say I'm a shiny drag queen because I'm on time, and you don't get that often. And also, big shout out to my management. My management team is called The Few, and they got the thing. And another queen from my season, they kind of wanted another queen from my season. I don't know who. They didn't tell me who. I don't want to know who. And they were like, why don't you try Maca? She will be good at hosting. And they were like, I think she will be good. And that was back when another production company was doing it. And then when they went to the other production company, they were like, do her. She's going to be good. So, as I said, it's important to be professional, to be on time, to treat
Mm-hmm.
people right, to be kind to everyone, especially your management.
Yes.
And opportunities will come your way. And I am delighted to have the chance to sit down and I said it on episode one. The best part of this is that I'm not the one
Mm-hmm.
being critiqued and having a terrible time. I'm just sitting here with my big padded ass and dishing.
And then on top of that, you came back for the second episode. I know we can't like dive into the actual talent show, but how was it being back on the stage with your season one sisters and then also seeing this totally new cast?
It was a full circle moment for sure. It was healing. It was going back there, seeing everyone from production, and going there looking beautiful because
Mm-hmm.
it was a glow up. Like right now, I'm recreating that makeup. It's funny, and I'm diverging. Sorry, my ADHD. In the months after that, my makeup has gotten worse again. Like I see myself on the show, and I'm like, it's not as good. And today I got it back. I don't know what happens with my brain. And sometimes it's also I have to get up at 7 a.m. to do my makeup for the show, so maybe that's a part of it. It's too fucking early for drag. And I came back with a beautiful dress and with a beautiful wig and a beautiful makeup, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna have fun today. And it was the first time ever I had a good runway with no incidents. Because and this is tea that no one knows, people think I did it on purpose. When I excuse me, I had meatballs today. When I was wearing the whole robot moment,
Mm-hmm.
the chest plate fell down. It was not supposed to fall down. And when I did the runway with my badly done dress, one of my earrings fell.
Oh.
And it was always like a traumatic experience being on the runway. And then that day, I come out. We're I don't know if you've seen it. Well, you've seen it. We were all supposed to do the runway and stand on the stage because I'm the
Mm-hmm.
first one. I'm always the first one. I was the only one doing it by myself. So I come out and flaunting my big pink skirt, and it doesn't translate well because they film me from the side. But I came out to the judges and I went like, like in my head I was like, well, you're lost. And I was standing there being like, yes, yes, thank fuck. Oh, it was like, as I've said this many, 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 many times, it was printing a good memory on top of a bad one
Mm.
and staying with the good one, right?
Yeah.
And then the talent show, I remember we walked there and we were like, our season has such good critiques. They had such a tough thing to do, topping us. And then they fisted us, girl.
Right?
I mean, you know what I mean? We were like, I thought it's so hard for them to top our season, blah, blah, blah. And we watched the talent show and I was like, what? I remember, I think Jota went up first, and he's my friend. She's my friend, and she was standing on the piano, waiting for the music to get his cue to start. And I remember looking at her hands and being like, she's not shaking. How is she not shaking? How is she not shaking? And it was great. It was great. Also, Samantha maybe wasn't the most pleasant thing to not because she did badly,
Mm-hmm.
she did badly, because I didn't want to give bad reactions. The
Mm.
whole time when I didn't, you know how Inti had her picturesque face the whole time, and it
Yeah.
always looks like she's not pleased. The whole time when I was not reacting, I was like, because I didn't want to give one bad face
It's a good point. You
in
thought.
case, you know what I mean, in case blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I remember when the singing bitches came out, I hate them. When the singing ones came out, I was like, don't look back. Don't look back. Just be pleasantly surprised. So I remember I was like, wow. And in my head, I was like, fucking bitch, I'm gonna hit you.
My favorite part of the talent show, and I just need to ask you if it was as good in person. There was a man, and I cannot, he was literally, I felt like he was in every single person's performance, and he had this nice pair of underwear on, and he was standing right in front of you, and I believe it was for Samantha's? It was for somebody's.
Yeah, he's actually very nice. We met him on the previous season. He's very, very nice. He's a father.
He's straight?
No, he's a gay dad.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're happy.
I was like, okay, that's...
I have this approach to hunks because I am such a weird bitch. I don't feel as attracted as I feel jealous. So I don't pay much attention to normative, and bless them. I've met a lot of hunks who are amazing, and also I find that it's not annoying. It's not disturbing as well. It's confusing for them when you don't give a shit about them being hot. Right? It's not even attractive. I don't want to be to anyone to feel attracted to me. I want people who feel attracted to me to be genuinely attracted to me. Yeah. But it's more like confusing for them when you're not like drooling. When you're like, hey, bitch.
Yes.
So I have a tendency to not desire things that are gonna make me feel bad about myself.
That's very good words.
So because I've had a complicated relationship with my own body, I try to see people as people, and I'm not the kind of girl who will be like liking hot guys' pictures on Twitter or Instagram. I have a tendency to try to change my algorithm for it to show me drag and makeup, not guys.
That's good.
I find it's good for my mental health because that's when I not compare myself to people. And it also helped me out in the tour because we had this amazingly beautiful hot dancers, and it was better for me building a relationship with them and having a good working relationship with them, seeing them as human beings and exploring their personalities and who they were and what ticked them right and wrong and how easy or hard it was to make them laugh, more than being like, oh, girl, you're hot. No, I'm not into that.
Yeah. And also to say this, and then we can start closing out. I will say that when people tell you are attractive, it can get to a certain point. Like only so many people can tell those hot muscle daddies that they are attractive. But when you go into, and like you said, like making them laugh or figuring out who they are as an individual, you are creating a relationship not based on sex appeal, but based on who they are as an individual. And it makes them feel more special.
Probably. I don't know. I'm not on people's minds. I know I will be, because I'm a narcissist, I would have been delighted to be the hottest person in the room the whole time. But normatively, only in the norm or in the average of society, what society expects from us, I am not. And as you were saying, when people think you're attractive, I never believe people when they tell me that I'm attractive. It's so hard for me. And I'm the type of person who I look myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you're hot. But it just takes one comment of people telling me, oh, you gained weight, to go.
Yep.
And I know I'm cute. I know I'm good. I'm not. Yeah. Beauty is also it's not objective. It's subjective, right? But I know I'm good. I'm fine. But I don't know. Sometimes you don't want anyone to make a comment about your appearance.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just want to be left alone. Even if it's a good thing, it's like, girl, tell me I'm funny. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's also why I've stopped reading comments completely. Like literally, I'm like, there's no need. Like, because I can be so excited about putting something out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited to see what people say, and it's like positive, and then there'll be like one negative one or something, and that's all you think about, and it's just not worth it, and it's not worth your time or capacity.
That's why I don't do Twitter anymore. I go there to do tiny things and then I delete the app again. Because I find that on Instagram or even TikTok, it's hard to get bad comments because people have to actually go in your thing and comment, you are an ugly ass bitch. And that happens less and less. It's like less acceptable now on Instagram and TikTok, but on Twitter, people are savage.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. They will tear you apart, and that doesn't sit well with me. I have enough in here.
Yeah. Well, the Macarena, as we close this up, I have my 2 obligatory questions that I must ask you. 1, what?
I'm joking.
What is the biggest misconception of the Macarena?
Oh, I would say people have to know me to have a misconception about me.
Oh.
What's the biggest misconception about me? That I have bad taste. I don't have bad taste. I don't have the ability to execute, but I have good taste. Even sometimes it's even hard for me to remember that I do have taste.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look great today, so you have taste.
I look like Sagittarius mom.
Wait, I'm gonna have to see a picture of Sagittarius' mom now.
What's the other question?
The other question for you is, I always ask the girls to expose something that happened on the show, good or bad, positive, negative, that happened that you wish was on camera, that you wish you could watch back. Is there anything that you wish would have been recorded or you could have seen?
Not on the show because I wasn't there for long, but in the house, I wish it was on camera. And if I ever do a movie, which you are encouraging me to do, there was this one time where I was so annoyed with everyone. I was so annoyed, and I walked out to get something. I think to get tobacco from someone, and I walked, and there was a squirrel on a tree, looking at me. And we were staring at each other for about 2 minutes because she was so close to me. And I came back and I was like, something great just happened. I made friends with a squirrel. It changed my whole mood. I wish that was on camera. It was amazing.
You literally were in an awful mood. You go to get tobacco, you see a squirrel, you stare at it for 2 minutes, and it made your day.
Yeah.
The Macarena, you truly are such a light. I'm so glad that I got to chat with you, especially the second time, and to be able to get your story. I really wish that we could have seen you more on the show because your personality is infectious. Everything about you is just like fun.
Infectious.
And
yeah, I am contagious. There are opportunities in life. I know my story, and I knew that when I left the show. My story is not over.
Yeah, for sure, it's not over. Well,
so there will be chances to meet each other better.
Are there any projects or anything that you want to plug right now? Plug yourself. Talk about whatever you would like to. Where should the children go see?
Everyone, go follow me everywhere at I am the Macarena. I have a song out. I don't know if you haven't listened to it yet, but you should. It's in English, so you're going to understand it. It's called Turn the Glamour On. It's about overcoming your own saboteur and becoming who you are. And I will be releasing new music really, really soon. I'm very excited about that. And also, you can see me on my show, Si Lo Digo. It's on Wow Presence now with subtitles.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, it's internationally available, so you can go there and see me dish about the Queens. It's actually not very long, so you can watch it for breakfast. You can watch the 3 things, and it's less than 40 minutes. And thank you so much for having me here. I'm amazed because I know it's been Carmen, Inti, and me, so not that bad. And I hope in Mama Ru I will be in for an early out season of All Stars. So
yeah,
I hope that happens eventually. That would be amazing.
I really do hope that happens, and it's also great that you speak amazing English. So now RuPaul doesn't have a option to not bring you on.
I think that would be funny, and yeah, it's been a great interview. Actually, I was wondering what is he gonna ask me because you asked me all the important questions from the last one, and you did a great job. Kudos to you, bitch.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, thank you all so much for listening, watching the Macarena, and myself as we chit-chatted all about her life. Make sure to go follow the Macarena on everything. You said you're at I Am the Macarena?
Yeah.
And until next time, I'm Joseph Shepard. Follow me at Joseph A. Shepard. Comment below your favorite part. Make sure you are subscribed. We have contests. You can ask questions, all of these great things. And I will say, let me know what your favorite part about this interview was. And what we will do is that the Macarena and I will have a little chit chat, and maybe you'll get a video message from the Macarena. One lucky winner, you know, maybe she will.
Auto drag though.
No. I want you to wear the outfit that you were eliminated in. I want you to bring that back. Do you still have that?
That's been destroyed.
Did you burn it?
I took the duck with me because I was planning on doing something with it, and then I threw it away. I was like, no, not you.
Thanks so much, Macarena, for being here today. Until next time, I'm Joseph Shepard. Bye, guys.